Gather all the parts of the movement together in the assembly area. I like to group the parts that relate to each other together. This way I can work in a logical manner without having to dig through all the parts looking for the part I need. For this time-only movement, I'll make 4 groups. Group 1 has the movement plates and the nuts or taper pins that hold the plates together. The next group of parts is the wheel train, including the great wheel. Helpful hint number 1, remember when we took the movement apart we noticed that, with the exception of the great wheel, all the wheel train arbors had lantern pinions. Now find the parts of the motion works. That's the center arbor, transfer wheel, and hour pipe. Helpful hint number 2, the motion work arbors all have cut pinions. Finally, group together all the parts that are mounted on the outside of the plates: the clock hands, the escapement anchor, pendulum rod with suspension spring, and the pendulum bob. With all the parts grouped and accounted for, take a look at the movement plates and identify which is the bottom plate and which is the top. The top plate will have 2 large holes for the winding arbor and center arbor to poke through. Our movement has the escapement on the outside of the front plate, so our front plate will have the escape and pallet cocks and the pendulum suspension post attached to it. The bottom plate has the pillars riveted to it. As you can see, it's pretty easy to tell the plates apart. Take the bottom plate and place it pillars up on a flat work surface. Let's check the photos we took when we disassembled the movement and identify the pillar that holds the loop end of the mainspring. Slip the mainspring loop over it and seat the pivot of the winding arbor in its bushing hole. Next, install the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and escape wheels in their bushing holes. Hint number 3, wheels get smaller as they move up the wheel train. And hint number 4, the escape wheel is always the last wheel in the train. Uh-oh, looks like wheel 3 and 4 are the same size. Hint number 5, install all wheels so that every wheel engages a pinion. Now that the wheel train is in place, it's time to install the motion works. First, install the center arbor so that the center wheel will engage the 2nd wheel of the going train. Then put the transfer wheel in place, and finally slip the hour pipe and its wheel over the center arbor. It's time to install the front plate. Remove the escape wheel from the bottom plate and slip it into position under the escape cock on the front plate. Drop the front plate down over the center arbor and winding arbor, guiding the escape arbor towards the proper position. Now we need to work all the wheel arbor pivots into their proper bushing holes in the top plate. Install the nuts and tighten them finger tight so that they place a small amount of downward pressure on the top plate. Using your fingers or tweezers, work from the great wheel towards the escape wheel, working the pivots into place as you go. As more pivots drop into place, the top plate will become loose, so keep tightening the nuts incrementally to keep downward pressure on the top plate. This will help keep pivots from popping out once they are in place. It will take some fiddling and practice, but you'll be surprised at how easy this really is. With our top plate in place and all the pivots in their bushing holes, hold the plates together and use your thumb to put some pressure on the great wheel. All the other wheels in the wheel train should spin freely. If all is good, install and tighten all the pillar nuts. Now we need to check for end shake. Friction is the mortal enemy of clocks, and one of the greatest sources of friction is when the pivot shoulders, where the smaller pivot transitions into the larger arbor, are trapped between and rub on both the front and back plates at the same time. An arbor should have about 1 millimeter, or a little more than 1/32 of an inch of play between the front and back plates. To check this, grab each wheel in the wheel train with tweezers and move the arbor back and forth between the plates. If there's no end shake, the clock won't run. With all our wheels having proper end shake, we can finish assembling the movement and give it a test run. Mount the movement back in the test stand. Place a small level across the top of the plates and adjust the movement in the stand until it is level. Install the escape anchor and secure it with the anchor retaining clip. Work the pendulum rod back down through the crutch loop and slip the suspension spring into its slot on the suspension post. Install the pendulum bob and check the position of the pendulum rod where it goes through the crutch loop. The rod should be about centered in the loop. If not, move the suspension spring forward or backward in the suspension post until the rod is centered. If it's way out of adjustment, then the crutch was probably bent and you'll have to gently bend it back into proper position. Press the hour hand back onto the hour pipe. Push it down far enough so that the square end of the center arbor sticks out slightly beyond it. Now reattach the minute hand by lining up the square hole in the hand with the square end of the center arbor. Reinstall the threaded nut to hold it in place.